I-95. You'll see some nearby entrance ramps blocked off as needed. Delays there from about Conner north on 75 Rochester to Adams Road. That's a work crew over on the right shoulder until about 6 today. North and southbound Telegraph between Goddard and Van Born, still nothing but brake lights through Taylor with one lane open each way. New work in Chesterfield. This is southbound Gratiot. 23 to 21 mile is the right lane closure through Thursday. Related work blocks the right lane on the westbound 23 mile between I-94 and Gratiot. Your next update at 11:08 from the Capital Mortgage Funding Traffic Center.
And that accurate weather forecast for the rest of the day today. We're going to see mainly sunny skies, but it'll be behind that haze once again today as we do have an air quality alert throughout the rest of the day. We'll see a high today near 85, and then for tonight, clear to partly cloudy skies, a little more humid with a low near 66. Warm, humid tomorrow, a mix of sunshine and clouds with a high near 84. And then for Thursday, more sunshine than clouds, warm and humid with a high near 85. Right now at Detroit Metro Airport, it is sunny and 71 degrees.
This is News Radio 950 WWJ, Detroit's news, weather, and traffic station.
Smoke continues to plague the skies here in southeast Michigan.
Certainly going to affect the air quality. We have an air quality alert.
But first, an arrest made in a manhunt for a suspect accused of a family massacre in Tennessee.
News Radio 950 WWJ and WSYT HD2 Detroit. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Safety concerns and failed to investigate anomalies in the Titan's hull after a 2022 dive. The Coast Guard concluded the deadly implosion was preventable. All 5 people aboard the Titan were killed.
A House committee has just subpoenaed the Justice Department for files in the sex trafficking investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Republican-led Oversight Committee also issuing subpoenas for depositions with former President Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and 8 former top law enforcement officials. Out of California, where a major wildfire is burning north of L.A. It's scorched more than 100 square miles. Flying Colonel Sid is with one of the fire departments battling the flames.
Firefighters know it's important. Night after day after night, it's all come in. We'll swap out with a fresh trip.
Smoke from fires in Canada is being carried by the jet
Several different agencies will be there, along with their vehicles and equipment, so you'll be able to check things out and ask lots of questions. At Vitale, WWJ News Radio 950.
Michigan State Police highlight the critical need for student safety after a 20% surge in tips reported to OK to Say in 2024.
School threat tip lines have seen a surge in calls. Bullying, suicide, and other concerns like anxiety and depression are the most frequently reported issues. State officials say without programs like OK to Say, students might not be willing to come forward and share information, adding that OK to Say eliminates barriers so struggling students can get the help they need before a situation turns into tragedy. Kyle Kimball, WWJ News Radio 950.
And coming up in 2 minutes after traffic and weather.
People will rally on the steps of the state capitol for funding for adult education. I'm Beth Fisher.
WWJ News Time is now 11:08. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. And here's Scott Ryan.
Yeah, Jackie, as we look at the AAA jam queues, no reported crashes on area freeways, but we are without issues because we have road work westbound 94 approaching Mount Elliott. It's a work crew in the right lane, slowly working its way to I-75. You'll find entrance ramps through this area closed as needed. Backups from about French Road, north and south on I-75 between Outer Drive and Schaefer Highway. The left lane closure scheduled each way until 4 p.m. New work today, M39 Ford Road interchange, the northbound M39 ramps and westbound Ford Road are closed through tomorrow midday, and then the northbound M39 entrance ramp from eastbound Ford Road is blocked off as well. Additional work scheduled later this week. Through Taylor, north and southbound Telegraph between Goddard and Van Born, still slow with one lane open each way. But a good news update in Southfield, 12 mile between M10 and Telegraph. That paving work has been completed. Your next update at 11:18 from the Capital Mortgage Funding Traffic Center.
Now that AccuWeather forecast, here's AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lumber.
An air quality alert is still in effect until midnight for the area. Any wildfire smoke will be reduced. That air quality time right into the day tomorrow. A warm afternoon, though, with a mix of clouds and hazy sun, and high of 85. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 66. Tomorrow, warm and rather humid. A mix of sun and clouds, high 84. Thursday, sunny to partly cloudy, warm and humid with a high of 85. It'll be partly sunny Friday, very warm and humid in the afternoon, high 87. Saturday, mostly sunny, quite warm and humid, high 89. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on WWJ News Radio 950.
And we have mostly sunny skies, 75 now in Taylor, 74 at our studios in Southfield, and 73 in Troy. And at Detroit Metro Airport, still sunny and 70 degrees. WWJ News Time now 11:10. Lansing Area Hospital, the first health system in the state to offer an innovative measles test. The University of Michigan Health Sparrow can now test you for measles at home, with your results being sent to an outside lab. The faster results allow doctors to develop a more rapid and accurate treatment. The testing was developed amid concerns about measles cases statewide and nationally. There's going to be a rally today on the steps of the state capitol in Lansing.
Members of the Michigan Adult Community and Alternative Education Association and others are gathering at the Capitol this afternoon to call on lawmakers to pass a state budget that includes money for adult education. Ted Kroll is the group's president.
About the importance of adult education, and really our big focus right now is around putting a little pressure to get the budget out for the education budget. We're funded as part of, the School Aid Act and school budget, and it's kind of putting how do I want to put it? It's making it hard for some of our programs to plan out right now.
The group director says the state has about $1 billion in the state budget that needs to be accounted for, and they want to make sure that adult education is not on the chopping block. Beth Fisher, WWJ News Radio 950.
Budget cuts lead to layoffs at Michigan State. The cuts directly impacting students as the school no longer has a director of counseling and psychiatric services or other psychiatric staff. They were laid off as part of a university-wide reduction. Some students are upset about the decision. The university will use a different provider for psychiatric care because of those cuts. It's not clear how much the university will save with those changes. You'll see a lot of police and fire activity in Allen Park about the next hour today. First responders, I should say, will be conducting active shooter training drills at Melvindale High School on Enterprise Drive until noon. Officials don't want anyone to be concerned about the increased police presence. All of the emergency vehicles, again, will only be there until about noon. There is no active threat.